What's up, hustlers? So, I just dropped a 30-minute. This is a content plan for a juice business. If you haven't checked it out, I was going to use that for the video today, but I actually wanted to recap a meeting that I had on Saturday morning with another entrepreneur. And that meeting was one that I walked away from like, bro, you have to get your business in order, right? And having your numbers and knowing your numbers and having them written down, having them visible, having them in a spreadsheet is the bare minimum that you can do for yourself. And it's funny because over the weekend, a girl came up to me from seeing the work that I did, and she's like, "You want to do websites and all this kind of stuff?" And like, yeah, she's like, "I got a marketing person already, but she says it's gonna take a month to get my website done, and I don't got that kind of time." And she's like, "So how much do you charge?" And I was like, I gave her the rate or whatever the case was. And I was like, it's a little bit more than just building websites. I really don't just build websites for people because it doesn't do them any service. And so, you can get an AI website, you can get all this done, but what I kind of do is like a business makeover. And she's like, "Well, I don't really need a business makeover." I said, "I understand, but the minimum, this is what's included with the minimum, because I could throw you up a website for sure, or you can get someone to throw you up a website, but it's not gonna really function in the way that I think it should function, and so I don't really do those types of projects." Now, listen, when you itemize and you package up rather your list of services, you're going to need to be okay with people not being your customer, right? And so what I could do is like, look, you could go on funnel control, you can build it yourself. I got tutorials, or I could put tutorials together, or I could have built hers as a tutorial. And again, where I am now in this process of packaging up what I like, you just got to know who your customer is, right? And then she went and did her due diligence. She asked me if I was worth it. And they were like, "Yeah, 1,000%. You don't see the work you're doing over here. My stuff is almost ready, and this is where I am, and I'm kind of holding it up, but." What he's doing is great. And it's kind of like, I don't want to go in here and be like, "Yo, you should fire your marketing person and work with me." But I have a clear path to how and what I'm going to help people with. And I've already made it super, super affordable, and even broken down my bigger thing into a smaller thing to kind of help people get going. But I wholeheartedly believe we need at least 3 meetings to just build a website, which is worth something. And I want 3 to 4 meetings before we actually build out a website in its full function. You know what I mean? And so I don't want clients now who are not willing to invest in themselves. Because either way, just me being me, and I know if I was to just build a website, I would probably be going deeper into all this other stuff. And she'll be around, and so she'll get some of the lessons, but she can, build it herself. She can come watch this YouTube channel. She could get the replay to the class I did just for the group that showed up to the meeting or whatever the case is, and she could go on this path and journey. The key to what I know now is that you have to know what to do next, right? And it's a million things that you can go ahead and research what to do, but you need some type of path to follow, because 10 things have 10 things inside of them. That's 100 things that you got to learn, and you may not even be learning or knowing the right thing. And I'm fortunate now from the experiences that I had in doing what I do and building my business that I know what to do next up to a certain point. I know what kind of decision need to be made. I know when you need to hire an HR person. I got references I got HR people that I can call early in the process, and all types of things that could get somebody to wherever they want to go. But not to get too far off track, and to bring that conversation back to what I was saying at the beginning, it's like you have to know what you're selling, and you have to break it down, and you have to have it written down. And if you don't, you can't be serious, right? It's okay. You got a side hustle, whatever the case is, but you're going to forever be hustling because you can't bring another person into your business. You can't get guidance. You can't do anything really, but make a little bit here, make a little bit there. And if you're confused and not knowing if you're making money, and I did some calculations and the math isn't math. I'm asking you how much to charge and you looking at me like, I don't know, 15, I don't know, 20, I don't know, 30, whatever, right? Like, I don't even know the details. And so all I can do is go look at the market rate, and I'm going to tell you, don't cut it short. If the market rate is 30, charge 30. And I might say charge 35 because we're going to outmarket the market. A lot of times, and don't think this is centered to just you starting out. I go into a lot of companies, and the very first thing that I do is I raise the price. At the bare minimum, we trying to go up to whatever the industry standard is. We are not going to entertain customers by being the cheapest option. That's just not in the game plan. Because at that point, I know you can't even afford to pay me. You don't even have it in your budget to pay me. And I want to be paid. I want to be compensated. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to charge more. Every company that I work with, that was the situation. And we're going to sit down, and I'm going to take you back to grade school, and you're going to break down these numbers to me. How much does this cost? How much does that cost? How long does it take to do that? What's this in here? What about this piece? How does that fit? You charge that much? Well, what about this? How does that happen? Who pays for that? What does this do? I'm going to ask all of those things, and I'm going to assume I'm the dumbest person in the world. I just went on the juice cleanse. 2 people did the detox, a detox. I did like a starter detox, and I feel like we built out in that video that I'm breaking down. Well, that was just the marketing. I didn't show you guys kind of the part before that, the meeting before that, but even the earlier part, we just kind of went into the content plan there. But you got to have a pipeline for this shit. Do y'all know that like marriage and wedding rings, that shit was made up the same way vitamin D and milk does your body good? That's all made up. A company decided that they were going to make wedding rings a thing, and they set out to make a plan to be a thing. If you are tired of being the best kept secret, if you have a product and it is good and it serves a purpose, you got to go out here and tell the world. And it's not telling one person, hey, I got to get there. No, you got to go tell the world and be bold about what you offer as far as a product. It's not a look at me, look at me, look at me. It's look at my product. Look at what this can do. Look at the benefits. Why aren't you one? And if you watch that marketing plan, that's exactly what I told her. You got me now as a testimonial. You got Blair as a testimonial. You got Troy as a testimonial. Now we're going to put it out to the next set of customers that come get a 15, 25, I don't care what percentage off for them to give you a video testimonial. I need 6 to 8 of them to kick it off. I need 25 to 30 of them is where you should be going to. Because at that point, it's viral. And then when you can take that and you can make an unboxing experience where people just want to be a part of the culture, a part of the community, the whole world's going to unlock. But it starts with the basics, bro. You got to know your cogs. You got to know what your overhead is. You got to know how many of this you make a month. You got to know your expenses. You got to know what you're going to charge. You got to know how much you're going to make. And I only count the profits. So y'all know with me, it's like, bruh, we counting by fives if that's the profit. So wanted to get you guys, if you have not gotten down to your numbers and you want to chat, you want to have a clarity call for a limited time still. I'm telling y'all at some point the price is going to go up. I'm giving clarity calls, 30-minute clarity calls. I'm actually going to put a link down below. You can book it right now. If you might watch this video years later and I never made a change to what it was, and you might still get on the calendar, but I'm telling y'all, book a call. Let's chat about your business. Let's see if I can help you get to your goals. Go to stanbanks.com. Get the roadmap. I actually was just rereading the roadmap today. The startup roadmap for you guys that I have as well over on the website. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. Remember, everybody needs a stand. Peace. Now go watch that last video.